Mr. Nashville is on location at Country with Heart, a benefit for St. Jude's, hosted by Bobby Marquez and Jennifer Herron at the Nashville Nightlife Theater during CMA Fest 2025. Make sure to subscribe to the Mr. Nashville Talks YouTube channel for more great coverage of this incredible event.
Okay, we're having all our family here. We got a little bit of the Oak Ridge Boys and a little bit of the Exile's offspring here, and we got put them together, and we have Rockland Road. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you, and then we're going to tell you a little bit more about why we're here for St. Jude and why it's important to them. But first, I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you.
All right, I'm Jamie.
I'm Talent.
I'm March.
I'm Texas.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Paul.
And we're Rockland Road.
That's right. Yeah. And this is Nora Allen's and Nora and Dwayne Allen's daughter. And this is Mr. Exile himself over here. They've exiled him enough to let him come here with us. Hey, why is St. Jude important to you guys?
We actually have a very dear family friend, and she went through 2 rounds of cancer, and she beat it both times at St. Jude's. And, you know, they are amazing. They come in and they just commit with that family and cover all the costs. And she was able to get there and just relax and not worry about bills and all the medical bills and get well. And she beat cancer both times there.
Amen.
So it's a very, very important place, and we'd support it anytime. You know,
That's
it's
great.
a very, very good cause.
That's great. And you guys are writers?
Yeah. We've currently
Writers,
been writing
yeah.
music of our own that we're getting ready to release, so it's super exciting. But yeah,
All of you write?
Yeah, we all
That is
all
amazing.
6 of us.
That's amazing.
Or well, yeah.
And I know he's a great musician. Are all of you play, right?
Yeah.
Everybody plays.
Self-contained band.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Well, I knew it was a band. Yeah, everybody plays.
I'm just a guy trying to hang on to my job now. They're going to push me out. I'm the old guy, you know.
Yeah. Well, now, how many instruments does everybody play because they're not seeing the band play on the screen.
Well, it's interesting because several of us play several instruments, even in our shows,
Yeah.
and it wasn't by design. It just kind of happened because she sings, but she's our drummer. So she comes down, he plays drums. Or Talent plays guitar or bass or keys. She can play, I'm sure you can play drums too. We just haven't had a song where we need to go back.
Kel plays.
Yeah.
So if you want to know the rundown of it, everybody sings, but Talent plays guitar and keyboard and bass, electric and acoustic guitar. Texas is our main drummer, but she steps down front. She sings a lot, plays guitar as well, acoustic. March plays every instrument as well. Drums, bass, keys, guitar. If you have an accordion laying around, you know.
Resident comedian. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we got.
I don't play every instrument.
No, Kel doesn't play every instrument, but he is the keyboard wizard.
Yeah.
So he plays all of our keys and sings, and actually a little bit of learning kind of some guitar, little drums, little just percussion things. Paul plays everything as well, guitar and bass and
I just wanted
keys.
to be
and
employed, so I just learned playing.
so we switch all up, and you know what? I don't play much. I'm a percussion. I just have to stand there and make everybody look good.
Well, you do good at that. Yeah. And now let me ask you, kids. Well, and you as well. When did you know that you had such famous parents and things? I mean, that you're in this business and you're working with these famous artists and.
I can answer that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can answer that on when I really understood that my granddad had quite an impact on the world. When I was in, I guess, mid high school, I took a real fascination with. I've always been into antiques and vintage items, and when I got old enough to know what it was, I stole my grandparents' old Betamax player. And when I got it hooked up, I just grabbed a stack of Betamax tapes because that was the only ones I'd ever seen before that was at their house. And I started plugging them in, watching them. I think there was maybe some old Richard Pryor movie in there. And then, somewhere she had recorded HBO back in the day. And then I saw one that was ABC Magazine where they would do their video program and it would show up and they would do like a featurette on an artist. And they did a feature on the Oak Ridge Boys, and I remember they were all kind of talking about, it was right at the height of their career, and they were just kind of talking about the overnight success of how, not overnight, but over the course of a year, how Elvira had risen from a country hit to an international pop hit, and then ABC was covering that story. And it was like they had all this footage of the Oaks in their prime, and you had Richard talking about how he has his stylist, and every quarter he was going to like Fred Siegel and buying the latest of the latest clothes, and then like they all had all the little featurette on all four boys. I was like, wow, I guess he really was kind of something back in the day, because he's always just been granddad to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. What about you?
If we get an answer.
A wise guy in the bunch. I guess growing up, I never realized too much. That was just Mama and Daddy. My mom was Nora Lee Allen. She sang at the Opry for 40 years, sang background vocals, and did a lot of television shows and things, doing vocals. So that was just kind of what we knew, what we lived around. My dad always sang with the Oak Ridge Boys, always on the road. We would go with them sometimes, but we were in public school, my brother and I cheered, or my brother played ball or whatever we did. My parents were right there sitting on the sidelines. So that was just what they did for a living, just like somebody else's parents worked at a bank or owned a restaurant or whatever. So didn't really get the impact of it till later. And you go back and look and you see them on like the Midnight Special or the Grammy Awards or the HBO special. And they've got laser lights and the first artist to have very lights in their shows. And just all these really cool things. And like, well, it's pretty special when you look back on all that,
And coming from, like the early gospel days to all of that. And then you look at all the presidents they performed for, and Margaret Thatcher and all. They made history.
If time allows for it, there actually is a really cool story about Bush Sr. that I'll let my mom tell about when he took you to his real office.
Yeah, we were there at the White House. The Oaks were singing at a congressional barbecue where everyone gets together on I guess it was the South Lawn, they set up and the Oaks did a show. But during the day, we got to go tour the White House, and that's when George Bush Sr. was president. So he took us on, a tour and went into the Oval Office, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is like, are we really here? This is weird. And he goes, come here, let me show you something neat. And we walked down the hall, and there was a little side office with like cabinets that had paper and staples and like, a supply room, and a little desktop in there, like a counter with a chair. Well, he said, this is my real office. This is where I love to sit. Look what I listen to. And he had a cassette player in there with the Oak Ridge Boys music. And then he said, this is where I hang out. So that was neat, But a lot of neat things, opportunities we got to do growing up, and it was a great way to grow up. So.
And what's funny with the kids, well, it's always funny, like Christmas, we would always get together with her mom and dad on Christmas night, and Dwayne, instead of telling stories like "'twas the night before Christmas," as they got older, he told them stories about his life on the road and how important songwriting was, which we were talking about earlier. He really took a nod from Dottie Rambo. It was definitely one of his early heroes about songwriting for sure. So
Well, one thing I wanted to say about you were so. We did a gig when Dottie went in. When Vestal Goodman went in the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, and then the next time Dottie went into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, you were the musical director, and you were so wonderful. I met with you early in the day, and you were so excited, and you were just so wonderful about it. And I know other people were coming, and they're like, I want to go with you with this, and you kept pushing them back and said, this is the one I want to take care of first. Go. And I kept thinking, why is he so? I
just held her in such high regard.
You were so great.
When I was growing up, my dad had a recording studio in Kentucky, and all these groups came through, and I heard all her songs. And till I met her, she was kind of like almost like a deity. It's just she just didn't seem to exist. It's like it's Dottie Rambo. Really felt that way about her the first time I met her, and she couldn't have been any sweeter too. My goodness.
And that's her all the time. She was what she saw is what you got, and she was just a gracious person like that, and just like the Oaks. And
I was just going to say, speaking of the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, Paul actually got inducted as well.
Did you?
Back in October, yes. He's one of the newest members. So
congratulations. What part of Kentucky? I did want to ask you that.
I grew up in a little town right outside Lexington called Winchester.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm from Louisville, but
okay.
Yeah.
502.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or a little annex part of Shively, but Louisville.
I know. Yeah, we know that area well.
Yeah. And and your mom's from Kentucky. Didn't she just get in the Hall of Fame too, or right before she passed?
She went in the previous year, 2 years ago.
But she was living.
She was living then.
Thank God,
she just passed away last year on Easter Sunday. We lost her with a very, very short bout of cancer, and it was really sad, But her legacy lives on,
Yes,
and
yeah.
you know, I brought her with me tonight with all of her jewelry, so she
well-
could be here for St. Jude's too.
Yeah. Well, we loved her and we love you, and I didn't mean to bring it down
That's
in
all
any way.
right. Love
We
talking
know where
about my
she
mama.
is.
We know where she
and,
is.
And we're going to see her again, and she's up there with my Dottie. And,
That's exactly right.
And but anyhow, we just love you.
And just funny enough, speaking of Dottie, Mama's Teaching Angels How to
to
Sing
Sing,
is
yeah.
a song that I think about when I think about Mama. So I bet they're singing up there now.
I got a
Teaching
funny.
those angels.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that. A lady wrote Dottie a letter, and said, "How dare you write a song like that? Your mother is good enough to teach the angels how to sing." That.
Oh my goodness.
And she said,
There's always someone.
Missed the point.
"Yeah." And so she said, "I wrote her back," and she said, "She is, because she's teaching her the song of the redeemed, because they,
That's
you know,
right.
angels have never been redeemed,
That's
and
right.
we have." And so she
That
said,
was
"I
a
didn't
good
hear back
response.
from her."
Jamie, I just thought of something else. Something that happened at Norley's funeral. We had a song of her singing. It was "Come Spring."
Oh yes. Yeah.
Which remember
Her
we
mama
had,
singing
my
that.
mom, her mom had asked me. She was asked to sing at a funeral about a year before her death, and she didn't really want to go sing live. And she said, "Would I do a track for her?" So I went to my studio, cut a track. She came over and sang, and that was the last song she sang that we ever got her. And we played it at her funeral too.
And the Isaacs sang "If That Isn't Love."
Yeah.
That's another Dottie Rambo
You know,
song.
Donnie
I
was
heard.
in-
Too,
she
yeah.
was-
Very influential.
Oh, well, I did. It's not out because I'm trying to find the right label to lease it or to distribute it. But I've been almost there, and then right at the end something come up. But Dolly did "Come Spring" on the album that I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Little Richard's on it. I got a lot of people on it. They got 18.
she's loved. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, 18 songs and like 30 artists really, but it's 18 songs. A lot of them died in the process though. Like I said, Little Richard, George Jones,
Yeah.
and so it's like I got to get this thing out or everybody be dead on it. But yeah, so
What
but
a
it's a
special
special
recording.
Yeah, it really is. I got a lot of people's last recording.
That's
Lynn Anderson's
awesome.
on it.
Oh, and Lynn Anderson.
Tanya Tucker's on it. But anyhow, a lot of people are on it, so I'm trying to get it out and everything. I've been like right there, and
That's
then
so fun.
you know how it works. So it's like.
Takes a little
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But anyway, I'm glad to have you guys on here. I hope we get to work together on some things and see you all on. We'll do a whole show together sometime.
You know where to find us.
Yeah,
Come
now
on.
now I will. Yeah, yeah. So anyhow, Rockland Road. Tell what's your website? So everybody knows.
RocklandRoad.com.
Yep.
And go to Spotify everywhere. Apple Music
And our socials are at Rockland Road.
On
There-
everything, yeah.
on everything. So get that, and then and check out. Do you have any solo music too?
I did when I was with Marty. I did one about 11, 12 years ago. I guess called Kentucky Jukebox.
song out a couple weeks
Well, yeah. At the start of this year, actually, from when I went to the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
I decided there was a song I'd been working on, written for the family, but we didn't end up doing it. So back in December, I thought, hey, I'm going to finish this and put it out for tying with my Hall of Fame thing. Well, then on New Year's Day, I had a stroke.
Oh no.
And so I ended up in the hospital for about 18 days, and then went through the the rehab stuff. So when I kind of got getting back to myself again, I finished it and put it out back at the end of April. It's called All About Love. It's kind of an ode to just kind of how I'd be glad to survive that. So
Yeah.
Kel puts out.
Kel puts
That's it. I do.
yeah.
Yeah, we have a studio in Hendersonville that we share. So.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll say it again. We have a studio in Hendersonville that we share, and so me and him have kind of consistently been putting out our own solo stuff as well.
How
And
they
then
find that? Tell them how they find that. Is it on? the
It's on
same pa-
Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
and then we're all writing in the
what's your
studio as
name?
well. Oh, it's under Kel Martin or March Martin.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Right. You girls, are you putting any solo out?
Not right now. Currently, sorry, I suck. No, just kidding. No, we actually, me and him tend to write a lot of songs together. Like we just come together and find it really fun to just go to the studio and write music together. And so currently, I'm really trying to work for Rockland Road, especially right now. But yeah, maybe in the future, put out some of my own music.
Talent rights.
This-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I write pretty much every day. I'll think of a melody, because I play like guitar and piano and stuff. So a lot of melodies and lyrics come to mind, and I do write a lot of songs, but I don't ever put them out. So I don't really have anything out there right now. But maybe someday.
Do you have any solo music out?
No.
Oh,
Not yet.
No, yeah, you would cry if you heard my solo music. It would be it would not be so well. It would not do good. But yeah, it would be scary. But anyway, no, I'm not a good singer. But anyway, but yeah, I think everybody would love to see more of Rockland Road, and I think you all would do great with a TV show. I think you like a reality show or something. I think people would love to see a loving family like this doing cool stuff together instead of throwing things at each other and.
Well, we do that too.
Oh, well,
They're out the family drama.
you can do that too. You got to have something for sweeps, right?
That's
right.
Right.
But yeah, I just love this. I love this loving family feel and everything you got going and the writing, and I love writers, so I love hearing the stories about writing and the stories behind the songs and stuff like that. So keep up all of that, and thanks for talking with me.
all of us love that,
Yeah.
because the kids, Dwayne had, the Oaks had publishing for years.
Yeah.
And I've loved to hear him tell stories about his writers to them. That's some of the stuff he shares. At Christmas, some writer comes in and doesn't, I didn't feel it today, and Dwayne goes, no, you practice your craft. Whether you feel it or not, you sit down and you write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, since we were talking about Dottie and stuff, when she had a lot of back surgeries and things, the writing got a little harder, because you know how you have to write and you have to bend with your guitar,
Yeah.
So when she got zapped when she wrote, she's in a trance. So she would call out, and I'd have to write it down. And so, but it's like I wasn't even there, she's like, then, but then she would labor on one word. Like after it was done, labor on one word. But I've seen her, now this would drive me crazy. Let me tell you how perfectionist she was. Great song, she got it. Then she sees somebody has the same idea and did just a song, same idea, not as good as hers. She's already wrote hers, but it's not out. Same idea, ripped it up.
Oh no!
I'm like,
But it was so good.
why did you do that? There's this crap, No, I don't want them to think I stole their
that's
song.
interesting. The concept, thinking of Dottie
Yeah.
tearing up a song
Yeah.
that we'd all probably
well-
fall over backwards to go.
Well, I did.
Ah,
I
you know.
did. It's just that I don't want to think I stole their song. That's how she looked at it. It's just, she said, I've had it done to me. I don't want to think I've done it to them.
I mean, we all do that. The kids
Yeah.
just recently had a song. Somebody put out a song with their hook, and they went, "Oh,"
We just wrote that.
Yeah.
So
So, see, we're acting like y'all aren't even here.
it's like a fly on a wall here.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information on how you can help support St. Jude, go to www.bobbymarquez.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Mr. Nashville Talks on YouTube.